Ladies and gentlemen, the following is scheduled for one fall. It is time for That Way Cool Wrestling Show! Good morning, everybody. Danny J here, along with LeGrand Jackson, Charles Gemini Gregory, right here in the Cannon Entertainment Studios. It's another edition of That Way Cool Wrestling Show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Check out all the different things coming up. We have a lot of great shows coming up here, so you're going to want to check it out. And always share the channel, but most of all, enjoy. Great show today, highly anticipated. We have a lot of people that are looking forward to this. On this show, we have WWE, WCW superstar, and his royalty himself, King HAKU, on the show today. HAKU, welcome to That Way Cool Wrestling Show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning to you.
Good
Good morning to you. I want to thank you for coming on the show first and foremost. Before we even get started, I wanted to jump on real quick and say in the beginning of this season, we had the Killer Bees on. And B. Brian Blair specifically is very, very much in tune with the Cauliflower Alley reunion. And I saw you were at that this weekend. If you could give us a little recap of that, how that was for you.
Well, it was great, but and I appreciate what they done for us.
Yeah.
As the faces of years. But also my heart goes out to every wrestler, men and women out there, from the beginning, to these next generations.
Oh yeah. Now, let me ask you this, and because you have two sons in the business, that type of thing, is what you learned a hell of a lot different than what they're learning now?
Yes, of course. They tried, because I wanted them to start it at a dojo in Japan.
Right.
And both of them were okay. 6 months maybe, and 3 months. The youngest one, now there are three of them there. The youngest one that I really, really enjoy, I believe, in the future, because he sees that, and I hope he learned like I did.
Right.
In that way of, the discipline, cooking, learn how to take care of themselves in that, with the respect of the seniority, and also taking care of their kohai.
Right.
So, those are the things that but the boys now, the two older ones, they're much better than I used to be.
Oh, yeah? Are they hard-headed, the older ones? Do they know it all? Like most children?
I mean, do they ask you, do they ask for your advice a lot? I mean, do they ask you a lot of questions as their training goes along?
No.
No? Oh,
wow. Yeah, that's one thing they, if there's anything, it's me, what I see from outside now, and, I say something to them about it,
Right,
but,
right.
Yeah, I let them be, what they think until I see something that, what do you guys think? I don't tell them.
Right.
What do you guys think about that new move that you guys are doing or whatever it is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the beginning, where you were, you're with Tama and the Islanders, which were an amazing tag team. Even back then, it was a team that was like a force to be reckoned with as faces. But once you turned heel and went with Heenan, it was just like a great, powerful team. And then obviously later on, years later, we get it mirrored with the SST. The Islander format, if I could say it like that, was such a cool thing. The closest thing we had to it was the Usos in the beginning of their career. What made the WWF at the time give you the hot push, spread you out from the tag and give you the hot push over Tama as an example?
I'm sorry, you're talking about after the Islanders.
Yeah,
Yes.
after the Islanders, right? Like
Yeah.
what made them go to you and say, you know, we want you to do this, and this, and they didn't bother with Tom at all as far as doing a singles push like that. Like, what made them come to you specifically?
It was because Tama had problem at home with the family,
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
and
Gotcha.
and he left.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay, okay. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it was
take
you were
care of
left.
that.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so you were what they had to work with.
and he
Yeah,
left
right.
to take care of it, and then they turn around, and I guess I would say feel sorry for me or something. But it's the business at the time. However, they were thinking about it's their company, is Vince who was running it, and I was just there to do my part. You
Right.
give it to me, I'll get you and run with it, and believe there was my blessings.
Okay.
Did you think it would? Did you think it would blow up like that?
I'm sorry?
Did you think it would like blow up like that? Because you really, when you went into that singles role, and then you fast forward a little bit, and they make you the king and stuff like that. Did you think at that time that this is going to go somewhere? Because it really did. It was very, very hot at the time.
Well, thank you. Probably I'm one of the boring people to talk to, and because to me, again, I would say I was there to do my job.
Right.
Give it to me, and I run with it.
Yeah.
I was worried about taking care of my family
Sure.
and the fame and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I came from a little island that it's poor, and the island put everything on my shoulder. The king was looking forward for his people
Yeah.
to take care of themselves and bring new stuff to the island, for the future,
Right.
to be able for the new generation to come after us, and learn that.
Sure.
So I was kind of looking in that way,
Right.
instead of I don't put my nose in anything, why this, why that.
Right.
We were just as we said that they said that, and when they inducted us, we never asked for more money. We never asked for we're hurting, we are in pain, or whatever it is.
Right.
We were just trying to do the best that we can.
Now with you being from the islands, and being in the business, I was in the business a long time. Did you ever have to deal with like the Good Old Boy Network? Was that relevant on your side? Did they treat you a little different? You understand what I mean? Because with us, we always had to deal with the good old boy thing, and it was like a stereotype thing that we always had to overcome. But
Yeah.
me watching you, you were like legitimate badass also.
Yeah.
I feel that you were, and you didn't take any stuff. But did you have issues with that back when you were getting your push? The jealousy of other people, or you just ignored it, did your thing, made your money, and went home?
Exactly.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
I know that I had to get to the top
Yeah.
to make the most money.
Okay.
But the jealousy, there was never, ever in me, the jealousy.
Okay.
You just have to, if you work hard, because I have issues with the language and all that stuff,
Right.
Okay.
Now that I'm still learning how to speak English. But thank God for Heenan,
Right.
and God bless his soul,
Right.
and all the managers they put with us. But there was something that always was told to us: just work hard,
Yeah.
Okay.
and somebody will see how
Right.
hard you work, and you'll get the push and stuff like that.
It sounds like you were a model employee.
It does.
You sound
I'm
like
sorry?
you sound like you were a model employee. Like you sound like you'd be the greatest guy to have worked for us. It's just fantastic.
Well, if you're like
But,
everyone else, long as you got my paycheck.
You know, yeah, that's all. I wanted a paycheck to take care of my family.
Yeah.
It's not only my immediate family, but also, you know, we come from a little island.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that you have to take care of all the cousins and all
Yeah.
the
Sure.
uncles and aunties. So, you know, those are the things that I was worried about more than, you know, who is passing me or who is coming down and all this stuff.
Okay.
So
Now it's funny. I was looking at it, and I would probably say, at least in my opinion, if I was going to go by what I thought was first, second, third, as far as best to worst, you have you and Tom as the Islanders, which were such a fluent tag team. Great chasers, that type of thing. I thought it was just they were the power and speed, and both of you were very fast at the time, very fast. I thought that was just your best work, literally. For me, teaming up with the Barbarian as the Faces of Fear, what a dominant tag team that was.
Absolutely.
And I really honestly don't think WCW utilized you and he properly, you know, in that fashion, because you guys were just like amazing together. So much more than he with the Warlord. I think you and he were just very scary.
I mean, just the look of you
know.
two coming down, it kind of is like it brings all your childhood fears to life. These two monsters coming down to the ring. It's like, do I really want to do this?
You know, it was very intimidating. It was. And then thirdly, and this is based on television, obviously, they have you with Andre the Giant as the Colossal Connection. Now, I wanted to bring this up for this specific point. Andre, at that point, I think was in the latter part of his career. I think he was getting ready to leave soon. What was it like with that pairing? Because I mean, apparently he had a lot of trouble moving at that point. I'm sure you had to like kind of pretty much hold the match most of the time. That thing, you didn't team with him that long, but what was that scenario? Was that like a quick decision to have you guys team together and then give you the titles, or was that something that was thought about for a while?
Well, again, I have no idea. You know, it's again, you know, it's like when you talk about the Islanders.
Yeah,
I learned a lot from the kid. You know, I was the power, and the kid was doing speed. All the high fly and all this stuff. You know, the part of show business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then, you know, I was the power. So when it comes to Faces of Fear and the Colossal, I was trying to be the kid, to move a little bit faster.
Gotcha.
To move a little bit faster than Barbarian and the Giant.
Okay.
So, you know, that was the kind of thing that I was trying there. But, you know, to be honest with you guys, I've been blessed.
Yeah.
All these things that we're talking about, it was all come from the office.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I said, it's always good to working hard. You know, work hard. They always told me, work hard because somebody will see it. And I believe that's what they saw in me.
Yeah.
It's just working my butt off.
Yeah.
Now, who would you consider your toughest opponent at that time? There was a lot of matches I remember watching. I used to try to emulate things that you did, but I couldn't move like you. Let's put it that way. I just couldn't move like you. But who did you really like working a lot at that time?
You know, as I always said, all of the wrestlers are tough to become a wrestler.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so that's one thing that you sacrifice your life to become that wrestler.
Yes.
You know, either you make it or not, but you did. And we all did, you know. And that's what, you know, I always trying to say, if I can make it, that I only climb a coconut tree and never go to school,
right.
You know, anybody can do so. But, you know, that's what I said, is sometimes is become political, is sometimes is your favoritism and stuff like that. But, you know, I never think of that. I never try to, I just work my butt off and keep going.
Okay.
And whatever happened is going to, whatever happened is what is going to happen. Either
Now,
I make it or not, but I have to.
for our fans that are newer to you, because we have old fans and new fans, that type of thing. I mean, you are someone who is in real life a very humble, a very pleasant man. We've talked multiple times off the air.
Extremely respectful.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you're just like a very nice human being to be with. You know what I mean? But
It's like you want him to be your uncle.
right. But in more than one occasion,
Thank you. You all get me and my nephew.
Oh man!
Wait a minute. They can. I'm not too much younger than you are.
I'll text you.
me and you are right there in age. Trust me.
I'll text you the correct spelling of my name for the check.
Those guys are the young guys. I'm the old man.
Yes.
Okay.
But where I was going with this is that on more than one occasion, more than one talent have mentioned you separately in conversation. Say, "Oh my God, he is the toughest man on the planet."
Yeah, people that we interviewed said you were just like the toughest guy they ever.
And we don't bring you up.
We don't bring you
come up, and then
Yeah.
they say, "Oh yeah, HAKU, he is the toughest." They said it. Two people said the same exact phrase. They said he is the toughest man on the planet.
But
Dude, we've heard the Superman stories
yes.
of some of your escapades, and we're sitting here with our mouths gaped open, like, wow.
I'm like, this is crazy.
But they did always say that you were just the nicest dude.
In fact, B. Brian Blair was saying you and the Bees, probably Tom, I'm assuming, you were at a hotel and there was these football players that were getting loud and boisterous. They were drinking, and they said you went over to them and you said, "Listen, gentlemen, we're just here to kind of chill out. We don't want any trouble." Very, very monotone. And he said, "Those guys shut up for the rest of the evening." All because you're that intimidating in a respectful way, and I love it.
I think because, they know those bully football players, how
Yeah.
tough they are. Thank goodness for that. But, as we all, as wrestlers, and,
Yeah.
do what we do, and mind you, my era is the kayfabian.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
Of course, we turn around. We were told to take care of the, inside and outside the ring.
Yep.
You have to be tough to take care of the business because it was for real.
Yeah.
It wasn't fake.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
well, nowadays.
Yes. And there was those days, and what I believe, with my little island mind, that coconut come out, to protect my business and take care of my brothers, and my family
Right.
is my wrestling family. Away
Yes.
from home with everybody, that's the family
Nice.
that we had on the road. It is the boys and the girls.
Now, speaking of the road, and I don't know if you're going to remember this, I'm going to bring this up to you. In WCW, it was after a Nitro in Philadelphia, which is where we're based out of. And we were at the saloon where the hotel is. And we were in there, and as fans, we came in and we were kind of like hanging out. And to paint you a picture, there's karaoke that night. So you got Billy Kidman singing karaoke off to the left.
Okay.
We're at the bar and we start drinking and talking with Fit Finley.
Right.
Okay. Now, at the time, Fit was travel mates with you at the time. And Fit had said, "I just went to my first American diner today." And he mentioned whatever diner it was. And it was it was some off shot, like in Tinicum Township or something like that. Right. So we all said, "Oh, well, you got to go to the Melrose Diner. That's where everybody in Philly goes. If you want to go to a diner, you got to go to the Melrose." He goes, "Oh, well," he goes, "Well, I'm game for it. I'm hungry." He calls you over and you come over and he's like, you want to go to a diner? And you're like, yeah. that was the end of the conversation. And we went, I don't know if you remember that. We went, it was in 2 cars. Do you kind of remember that? We didn't get you guys back till late.
I kind of.
It was a long time ago.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
You were a little under the weather per se, saying based on alcohol. So was Fit, and so were we. But I remember we went in 2 cars, and Fit went with us, and I think you went with my friend, and it was a very good car ride, because obviously it was very, like, because Fit's a very enlightening man himself. Like, he's very humble as well, like a very nice person. And we went to the diner and stuff again, and we got you back. I think it was around 5:45 a.m. and you had a 6:45 flight, something like that. So you guys were rushing it. But it was fun. But I said I always remember that, and that was before the time of like cell phone selfies and stuff like that. So there were no pictures or anything.
Everybody has a camera phone now. They didn't have that then. So
we didn't have it back then. You
can actually enjoy yourself.
But I just remember that.
I mean, we all enjoyed ourselves, right?
Yeah. Now, here's something funny. Now, going based on that, though, the wrestling talent, when you guys were off from the shows, were very attainable, at least in WCW. It was like that. Years later, and then after WCW is over, that type of thing, getting close to a wrestling talent is like next to non-existent at this point, unless it's the indies. Has things changed so much where like back office says, hey guys, you want to like do stuff, like do it very, very privately? Do they not want you to mingle with the fans or anything like that?
No, everything was, I went in, whatever they want, you sign autographs, and stuff like that. And, most of the time, you got in there early, and some of the fans already hang out and, will come out and stretch and just sit around the ring and, talking about the past or talking about something, the boys want to ask. But, the fans are there, and we kind of mingle with the fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Asking questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've noticed. Sorry.
No. But, of course, when we came out after WCW, the telephone was there, but not that
right
like it is today.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it was nice to sit around and talk instead of taking pictures. Can I take a picture? Can I,
Yeah.
So it was always nice talking, with them. And, you learn, because I believe we all in the hype inside the ring, inside WWE and WCW, you don't see what the people, the fans, or from outside looking inside at us.
Okay.
So, you appreciate what they sing and how it is nowadays that I really enjoy looking from outside, inside the business.
It's funny. And the thing about what you're just saying now is that when a fan is talking, and I got this from a lot of different talent, they were very happy to not talk wrestling. Like, in other words, I know Bill Goldberg was like, like when you're in the bar and you're kind of crammed up against people and stuff like that. A friend of mine was a gearhead, and Bill Goldberg likes cars and motorcycles and stuff. And they literally just started talking motorcycles. And then Bill kind of like lit up and sat there and talked with him for like 15, 20 minutes about motorcycles. So I think it was like, a lot of them were very like into saying, we're human beings, like the character's now off. I want to just chill and not talk about this type of thing. So.
Yes, very true. It does. And, they're talking about, I was surprised the other day, somebody just wanted to talk about sumo. Out of, and then, the other people there start coming in and talk about Hawaii. I'm not from Hawaii, but hey, I used to live there. And but time with the Myvias
Yeah.
and, you know, Dwayne and all that when he was a young boy. You know, they appreciate that. And,
Sure.
you know, of course, we appreciate, you know, me. I can talk about anything, everything, you know.
All right.
Because, you know, you get to the point now, you're outside, you know, like you all said.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's life now.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
life that, you know, the most like me, I never have a job in my whole life except wrestling.
Right. Right.
This is something that I, you know, finally got to it, and I challenged that. My poor wife said to me, Tom, I hope you understand, because this is the real life is.
Yeah.
This is how much they make as in the real job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, and she was, you know, thank God for my wife. She tried to lead me into that real life, and I challenged it, and I'm still on it, you know.
Right.
and I thank God that I worked with for a good person that I worked for, my boss, my owner, you know, and me and Ricky Santana.
Yeah.
If you guys remember Ricky Santana, we both worked for these guys, and they, you know, they're great people to work for. And there was, you know, that's the thing, you know, about us now, especially myself.
Yeah.
To see, to feel how the real people work. You know, I'm working it. You know,
Right.
even though after all these years that all I know it was sumo and pro wrestling, rugby. But you know, rugby, you know, was part of, you know, growing up in the island. You know.
How long did you play rugby? Because I actually tried that, and that was a lot tougher than I ever thought. It was one of
it's like here in America, you know, with football.
Yeah, well, I played football.
Yeah. We started young.
I played football and I tried rugby, and them boys they tore me up.
Look, how come every time this man mentions a sport, it gets progressively worse? He's like, it's like his legend of being one of the toughest men on the planet.
Yeah, I tried rugby.
Unfolding before.
It's funny because, like, you sit there and say, "Oh, I don't know where they're coming up with this toughest man thing," and then all of a sudden it's like, "I've done this, I've done that, I've breaking tanks in half." You know?
It's like the coolest stuff.
Now, one question I have to ask you. Like, I was in the business. I did about 18 years. I was indies. I was, you know, nothing big. But I see the kids now to back when we were training. Do you think they feel entitled? Like, I've been to shows just to see friends, and they walk around, some of them like they're a big shot. And I told somebody, I won't ever use the name because, you know, they're WWE. And I said, dude, you never paid your dues. Don't walk around like that. Do you feel that some of them, not all of them, some of these guys don't understand how hard it was? You know, they got put into a spot. You know, they didn't really work in the gyms or, you know, the small arenas or the giant garages that, you know, a lot of guys worked in. Do you feel that's been taken away from our sport? You know, paying your dues, I guess you want to say.
Well said. In that way but we have to remember everything is started at home.
Yes.
What the parents told us to do, that's what is going to happen when we go out there.
Okay.
Now, the wrestlers, whoever the trainers are, they have to do a better job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
They have to do a better job taking care. It's not just about wrestling.
No.
But, you know, as you all know now, you know, that WWE is changing things around. It's not like it used to be, you know, the comrades and all that. You know, they're putting them to learn how to take care of their money and stuff like that. It's still good.
Yes.
Still good. But also, you know, we're in the world now, everything is tax, everything is, you know, the comrade part there that I would like to see also, it start from all those independents, all those guys who teach, coach, train these young guys, the young generation,
yes,
you know, before they go out there. And make sure that they get up or when they see those old timers, to shake their hand and introduce themselves
Yes.
instead of looking around, walking around with a chest up there.
Yeah.
And you
Yes.
know, they didn't. Right?
Right.
Am I?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
You are
Right.
you nailed it right on the head. I just wanted to know your feeling,
You know,
because a couple of times, like, I was in the back, and I would laugh at him, like, I laughed. Like, I have a hard time sometimes, because I remember setting up a ring, working a show, breaking it down, going home, changing, and then going to my real job that I worked at night, because I had a wife and kids. All right.
Right.
And some of these guys, they don't get it, how blessed they are
Mhm.
that they make it, but they just don't understand. You know what I mean? They don't get it.
Well, to me, it seems like, and we'll use the World Wrestling Entertainment as an example. It seems like now they're putting out product, not talent. They're not, acquiring talent like it was back in the day. It looks like they're like, we're not going to rely on anybody coming up and being something. We're going to go and we're going to produce what we want. So these kids are coming out like product, like an assembly line,
Yeah, but
in a sense. And it, like you said, it's lost all the appeal of, paying your dues, respect for the business and stuff like that. You will never see someone like you. You'll never see someone like Roddy Piper. You'll never see someone like, say, Dusty Rhodes, because I think the talent can't do it. And not because they physically can't do it, because they're permitted. They're not permitted to.
I want to cut you off on that. I don't want to cut. Right now, their top wrestlers are everybody that came out of the Indies. CM Punk.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
All these guys.
John Moxley.
John Moxley. All these guys came out of the Indies. I remember Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I worked him up in Reading when he was like 17.
Yeah.
When he was 17 years old, I worked him on an LAW. It was LAW we were show.
Yeah.
And the kid, he was good then.
Yeah.
At 17, I was like, oh damn, I can't keep up with this kid.
Right.
I was old, but he was good then. But all the top talent seems to have come from the Indies to me.
Right.
So like the older guys, like even you, sir, guys like you still make the business. Like the older guys still make the business, and that's just a plus for everything that's going on.
And you know what? You have an inside thing. You talked about your sons for a moment, and they are doing great in New Japan, that type of thing. But do you find that even they are somewhat, I don't want to say tainted, but they're somewhat like, you're not learning the way I did? Does that seem fair?
Yeah. It is fair.
Yeah.
But, in the same time, that we also have to understand the time.
Yeah.
It's different,
Yeah.
For example, don't try to compare Jordan to the King James.
Yeah.
Different times, different, you know what I'm saying? I don't like comparing all those stuff, because, everybody has their time and the success of their career in different times,
Right.
And we all have to understand, yes, the thing that I look at it today, these kids are fans of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
They come in, they know everything. They know all the moves. Us, the old timers, we were looking for a job to take care of our family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you went in and got a job, right? You got a job. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got a job. These kids, they come in, they are fans. They grew up watching wrestling all their lives. They know the moves. They know who is who. And they come in. You try to teach them. Is hard to teach them, because they want to go ahead before, to tell you what they know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They want to show you what they know, so you can skip all those things.
Yeah.
And let them do what they.
Now, is it best to let them fall? Is it best to let them fall and learn from what they did?
And then when they fall, and then we had to pick them up.
Yeah.
If we are there, to pick them up in their way. Because there's at one time with WWE, you know, I wish and I would love to have the old timers there, like Fit Finley and them are still there.
Yeah.
Love it. So they can pick up those who fall after they, you know, try to do everything they know.
Everything they thought they know.
Everything they thought they know.
Now, is from the best of your knowledge, because a lot of old school, a lot of your generation was, I want you to be this character, but I need you to make it. Okay, you come at me and you tell me what you can do. Now I think there's a lot more specific direction in these characters and this talent. Do you find that we're not going to get a memorable person, at least as many as we did with the new talent? Because that's what I find, that a lot of the guys now are very forgettable because of the fact that I think they probably could be really good, but they're not allowed to be very good, in a sense. Does that make sense to you?
You're talking about the independents or
Well,
WWE?
no, I think WWE. I think in WWE, I think they're getting very specific direction. I don't think they can go off script, in a sense. And I think guys like Roddy Piper, like Bobby Heenan, we mentioned him earlier. These were guys they say they gave you a direction. They pointed in a direction and said, "All right, take us there," and you did. You know what I mean? Whereas these kids, I think they need specific GPS directions to get to where they want them to be.
Well said.
Yeah.
You know, just like Bobby and, you know, all of us, the old days, there was no script.
No.
Right.
You give them the direction and, you know, and that was naturally the script come out of their mind and, you know, mouth.
Yeah.
These kids nowadays, you know, it's just like you said.
They write word for
They
word.
need the GBS.
Yeah. Now you're
even my own kids.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right.
Now I
There's
know. No,
you know,
please. Go.
telling my kids is that, why don't you turn right at that corner? You know, the arena will be there. Wait, Dad. You know, he's on the GPS. You know.
Maybe you should make the GPS in your voice. Turn here.
That's great.
That's great.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best example.
Yeah.
And they're down there, and I said, okay, let me drive while you're looking at the GPS, not you looking at the GPS and driving at the same time. You go, my goodness, that's dangerous.
Well, you got to remember, when we were on the road, we didn't have GPS. We had a map. Remember, we had to read the map. Yeah, we didn't have When I got GPS, I was like, oh my goodness. You know how many times I went to a show, I got lost, had to stop at a payphone and try to call somebody to find out where I was?
That's because you had to learn latitude and longitude like a sailor.
Yeah, we used to drive the shows and be lost. We always left super early just in case we got lost, you know? So
now,
exactly right.
Exactly
right. You know, these kids, they can't read the map if you put it in front of them.
Now,
they don't even know the north and the south.
Now, which one of your sons was the one that was in Impact Wrestling?
It was Tangaloa.
Okay, yeah. Now, he didn't stay there long. He went to Japan shortly afterwards, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, you know, while I was trying to put them, you know, to send him to Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is that? George.
Yeah.
Murdoch, you know, my son-in-law, you know, told him to come and check it out, you know, while he's waiting. So, you know, it was a good little time for him to, you know, to keep
get on
wrestling
TV.
and, you know.
Yeah.
Now, how old is he now?
Oh, Tangaloa Bob is, what, 34, 35?
Okay, he's a little bit older than my son. Okay.
Or 36, yeah.
Oh, 36.
He's older than all of us, all of you.
No.
Oh, I wish.
No. My son is 29. Okay. Yeah, I'm up there, like I said. I'm a little older, like I said, but yeah, because he thought about at one point going in, but he ended up going into the military. He wanted to go into the business.
Okay.
Yeah, but Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's okay. He's still at a great. He's still at a good age. Your son's still at a good age. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is he
Those two.
is he the oldest, the middle son? Which one is he?
He's the oldest.
The oldest is
He's young.
Tamatonga.
Okay.
Tonga.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the new one, the youngest one, is Paula Higureo.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one who's still in and out of the dojo.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Now, do you get a contact to say, listen, they like with like WWE keep in contact with you and say, well, how are your sons doing? How are your sons doing? Did they come to you and people like yourself that are really old timers that have kids in the business and kind of just check up on you, like recruiting?
Now and then, they'll send something to sign.
It's always something to sign.
That's about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's always something to sign. Right?
if it's
Right.
not,
Sign this, sign that.
if it's not a check, you don't want to see it, right?
No.
Send me
they
a
don't want
check.
to see me. They don't want to do it.
Send me a check, man.
Oh my goodness, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Have you?
What?
Do you keep up on it today? Though, do you keep up with wrestling today?
No,
No.
I don't. But yes, in a way. It's I work with Ricky
Yes.
Santana.
Yes, that day we
And
talked to
Ricky.
him. Yeah.
He got a good mind to the business.
Yeah.
He loved the business.
Yes.
And that's we have our little time. 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we call it cup of tea.
Come and take. Yeah, he's a great individual.
Yeah.
I met him many years ago, and he came on the show, obviously, and he was the first episode of this season, and
And he talked very highly of you.
he very
Extremely
highly.
highly
He
of
talked
you.
very highly of you.
Probably because you were in the next office, but
We know that you're the complaint
he
department.
said you were
so-
the complaint department. So I always thought that was kind of funny. But he made a good point, and I think you mirrored this in an earlier statement, is that he said, right off the bat, I want to say there is life after wrestling. And that's a very poignant point to say, like, there are guys out there, and we can mention people like Terry Funk and Ric Flair and these guys that just, they'll do it until they physically die in the ring. But for others that are out there, say, hey, you know what? You can live after this and do this thing. And he said, you and he are doing very well at the dealership. And I see pictures, like Ricky puts up pictures of, he with the customers, and I think I see 1 or 2 of you with the customers. And I was like, that's really nice to say, these guys can go to a regular job. They don't have to worry about ducking. They don't have to worry about hitting the floor. They don't have to worry about any of this crap. They just go there, get a check, and go home. Was that a big adjustment, though, for you to do that?
Very,
Yeah.
very big.
I just want to know if I get a discount on the car. That's all I want to know.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want a discount.
I'll send you to Ricky.
Yeah. And then he
I'm
said,
on the complaint department.
Yeah. He said that to Ricky, and Ricky said, well, I could see what I could do, but you got to talk to HAKU. He's in the complaints department. And then Charles said, well, I'll take the gap insurance. It's all good.
I'll take the gap insurance.
The
and all that.
undercoating, whatever it is.
Whatever
I'll
you want
take
me to
it.
buy,
Right.
just add it on.
Just
I'm
add
good.
it on.
Yes.
It's all on the back end.
Yeah, that's it's a big adjustment.
Yeah.
No
Sure.
is coming from WWE, TV, and all this stuff. But there's always one thing that I remember. I never forget where I come from.
Okay.
Absolutely.
If
That's a
I-
beautiful thing.
If I can climb a coconut tree again, I will.
I got news for you. If I can
this
climb
is-
stairs again, I'd be happy. It's bad when you get
That
old.
too.
It's bad when you get old.
That's the
Look.
problem right now. I need praise for both knees to climb.
Right?
Let me tell you something. Talking to you is one of the thrills that I have doing this, because it's really cool. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of stole some of the flair, because at one point before my garden stopped growing, I had a full head of hair, and I used to wet it down real heavy and come out looking just like you. So,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
but I know we're going to be going pretty soon, but I got to issue this challenge. I'm challenging you because you're one of the toughest sons of guns that has ever walked the planet to a thumb wrestling contest. But the thing is, it has to be a handicap match because I don't want to walk away with a broken arm and a neck brace. So I'm going to need help, all the help I can get.
I told him, HAKU, I told them, I said, we're going to actually physically take a trip down to Florida because we've been saying we were going to do it for a while, like a long weekend. And this would be such a great thing to film, to have you and he at a bar do a thumb wrestling contest. I think that would be fantastic. I think that would just be fantastic. And then just get beer and wings afterwards.
Oh, yeah, man. You know,
My treat.
anytime you guys come down, let me know so we can have a beer. So
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Now,
Thumb wrestling.
Now, one of my favorite things that you have done, and it's funny, and I want you to take this as a compliment, that people like yourself, people like Bobby Eaton, as an example, these guys who are, for all intents and purposes, great company workers, okay? They can, like you said, they tell you what to do, you're like, okay, I'm cool, and then you go and do it, right? And the one thing you did that I thought was just amazing and always resonated with me is when you were wrestling Bill Goldberg and somebody threw a chair to him, like a wooden chair, and he gave him the Tongan death grip through the chair. Like he went through the wooden chair and gave him the Tongan death grip. I was eating at the time when I saw that match. I threw my food up in the air. I said, oh my God, look at this. I said, this guy's crazy. And it was just one of my favorite moments in wrestling television because it was just like out of the blue. Like I wasn't expecting you to win based on the storylines and all. And I said, he just put his hand through that chair and gave him a Tongan death grip. I said, this is the greatest thing ever. So once again, I want to say you're the toughest man on the planet because I thought that was just crazy.
No, man, I was just being blessed.
You were.
To have you all interview me because through this talent that God blessed you with this wrestling.
Right.
And, and I thank you to you all
well, thank
for
you.
having this time.
Sir, it's such an honor.
Such an honor.
It is such an honor.
And cry about this.
Well, we really, really, really thank you for coming on the show and giving us your time. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah.
Like I said, being in the business and watching and getting to talk to you like this is I can say this is a highlight. But we really appreciate you taking your time out and doing this for us.
Thank you very much.
We really do
appreciate, and I hope that, that you guys and also the fans out there, your fans are listening, that they understand my English.
I understand you perfectly. You have nothing to worry about.
And it's funny, the way we're talking now, and you and I texted right around WrestleMania weekend, and you sent me this real nice text. And when I read the text back and I'm listening to you now, you text exactly the way you speak. And I was like, this is so awesome. Because it was like I read it and I felt the need to read it slow and steady. And I got through it. I was like, this is great.
Look, one of the best things to come out of all this is we get to call him Uncle.
I get to call Uncle HAKU.
I call you Uncle HAKU now.
Uncle HAKU. Uncle HAKU.
All right, nephews. We're going to have a few beers.
Okay.
Yes.
Dude, absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm treating.
I'll treat.
They'll treat.
Because I get an AARP discount, so I'll treat.
So between us, it's going to be double.
Okay. But again, I'll say it for all of us, we thank you so much. We really do.
Many blessings to you and your family.
Yes. Hope to see your boys on WWE soon, at least one or two of them. And we appreciate your time. We really do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for having me.
Very
I
much so.
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
And tell Ricky we
God
said
bless.
hi. How's he doing? And we'll talk to him soon again.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all take care.
Thank you,
too.
sir.
Take care.
You have a
too.
good day.
You too.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Fans, that was HAKU, WWE, WCW legend, HAKU. What a great guy.
Dude, he's the nicest
What
guy.
a great guy.
I still wouldn't make him mad though.
Excuse me. Don't talk about Uncle Haku like
he,
that.
Exactly.
he texted me right around, it was the Friday before WrestleMania.
Right?
And he said, Danny J, I'm sitting here with my coffee and I'm the eve of WrestleMania weekend. And he went in this whole spiel. And I read it, I was at work and I started cracking up laughing because I was like, it was exactly the way he speaks now, which is just great. Such a great thing to have these legends. I hope everybody's enjoying these shows. This season has been such a monster season for the show.
Mm-hmm.
We've been blessed to have all this great talent come on. Ricky Santana, the Killer Bees, Sean Hernandez, Blake Chadwick, Cindy Snow. We have so many more coming up. I'll give you everybody a little sneak peek. If you're on Facebook, you kind of see this, but coming up, we have Gorgeous George coming up next month. Actually, she's going to be on the show.
Can't wait for that.
We got Big Vito coming on. Big Vito. There you go. I know Charles can't wait for that. We have Scott Hudson, WCW announcer, TNA announcer, and the guy announced the very first WCW match on WWE television. Scott Hudson.
Really?
He's going. Yeah, he did it with Arn Anderson.
Oh wow.
That's right. You're right.
That was
You're
the
right.
Buff Bagwell Booker T match.
Booker T.
Right. So we have them coming on the show. This season, like I said, it's been such a blessing for us. This show has grown so much.
To say it's been an honor to talk to some of these people. No, to say it's been an honor to talk to all of these people.
Yes.
Is the understatement of the decade. I just can't believe that, we are able to provide this to our fans. We're a small show out of Philadelphia, which people deem as the wrestling mecca for decades.
Yeah. Well, I think so, yeah.
It's great that we are able to do this. It's great that we're able to have our fans be able to hear some of these stories and these life experiences with some. It's a great thing.
And I will say this. I mean, as far as this show is concerned, no one is having more fun and excitement with this than we are. And not because we're doing something phenomenal. We're involved in something phenomenal. And I want to stress that because the fans supporting the show, the fan support's been phenomenal. The support from all the wrestlers out there, all the wrestlers. I've been recently talking with Barry Horowitz, and Barry's getting ready to come. I'm getting his scheduling done, and we might have him on the show very soon.
DDP told us to call him back.
DDP has us. We're going to be calling back. So, I mean, we got stars that are going to be coming on. You're going to want to check it out. Subscribe to the channel. The button's right below us. Go ahead and subscribe to it.
Just subscribe. It's not hard.
We don't inundate it at all. We don't mess up your notifications or anything like that. Just go ahead and subscribe. Share it with all your friends. Go on Facebook. We have That Way Cool Wrestling Show on Facebook. So you can check it out there. We're on Twitter at TCW. Wait. That Way Cool Wrestling Show. TCW. Something. It's That Way Cool Wrestling Show. It doesn't necessarily podcast.
Wow.
I can't think of it anymore. I had it down.
And also coming up shortly, we'll be doing some indie shows.
Yes, we're going to be doing some indie shows. We're going to be talking with the likes of Mr. Anderson himself. We're going to be talking with him. We're going to be talking with Matt Stryker. We're going to be talking with a lot of the indie guys that are on the show that are actually working with these guys and what it's like for them to be able to work with these generals in the ring. And also, too, we announced it on Facebook. We have a big gentleman's agreement with Keystone Championship Wrestling, where we're going to be at a lot of the live events there and doing a lot of stuff. So you're going to want to check that out as well. Go to thatwaycoolwrestlingshow.com. Make sure you go on the DGB Productions Network, subscribe to the channel, and amongst all, share it. But I want you guys to enjoy it. For Charles Gemini Gregory, for LeGrand Jackson, my name is Danny J. Until next time.
Whoa.
What?
Where's the missing link?
Mark Lindsay is not here today. He is on assignment
He's on his-
and will return shortly.
Is he?
Wait
Wait a minute.
wait a minute. No, hold up.
All
One more
right.
thing. How come I stopped being Onslaught? I've been Onslaught
Yeah,
for
he's been
20-something
on for
years.
20-something years.
And all
Now
of a
you're going to
sudden-
call him by his Christian name.
That's because he's an actor now.
He's
He's a big
Oh,
time. He's on more than
big
one show.
Oh, he's on more than one show. Oh,
Dwayne is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
yeah, but you ain't.
He's Charles Gemini Gregory.
Thank you. Say it again. Say it again. Say it one more time.
Charles Gemini
I
Gregory.
like hearing that.
How come I'm not LeGrand Onslaught Jackson
Oh,
no
he's
more?
LeGrand Onslaught Jackson. You see
Thank
there?
you.
There you go.
Okay.
Hold up.
And Mark, just so you know, you're on assignment. I hope that shot works and takes care of that itch, buddy. We'll see
Yeah.
everyone soon.
Yeah.
Always keep the little comb.
The comb.
So for Mark, wherever he's at, for Gemini and Onslaught, my name's Danny J. Until next time, we'll see you at the matches. Goodbye, everybody.
The proceeding was produced by DJB Productions. Go to www.thatvirtualwrestlingshow.com.